To access the library's online resources, most likely you're going to be going in through Blackboard. So here I am, I'm already logged into my centralpenn.edu. You click that Blackboard tile, it opens up in a new tab. And if you scroll down, you'll see there's a student resources box, and the very last link in the box and on the page is to library resources. So I click that, it opens in a new tab again. This is the guides.centralpenn.edu. This is the home page for our library guide, so lots of information on here that we can get into in other tutorials. But for this one, we're going to click this Library Online Resources link. So again, that was in the middle up at the top. So that takes us to the Library Online Resources box. This is actually on the Research Help and Tutorials tab. So if you don't click that link from the other page, you can just go into that tab. That's another way to get here. Under here, I'm going to show you that there is a link to the Online Resources Guide. This has tabs for each of the databases that we have access to at Central Penn. And you can click on individual tabs to get to a basic synopsis of what is going to be in the online resources, some basic search techniques, and highlighting some of the tools. A lot of these tools are similar in all of the online resources. They just look a little different. So if you're having an issue trying to find out, like, how do I save this? How do I highlight it? You can go into these individual tabs to figure out how to do it in whichever database you're using. At the very bottom of all of these tabs is a how to cite a database reference. This is very handy for when you're doing your reference in your in-text and mostly your reference page. So there's tabs for each of the online resources. It shows you where the cite tool is, if there is a cite tool. Most of them have it, but not all of them. It shows you what your reference probably should look like, depending on what type of source you're using. So for articles, this is the basic format for an article. And it shows you, because these citation tools are computer generated, they do make mistakes. It shows you where the common mistakes are in the citation tool. So a little handy dandy thing for you to look at, so it can speed things along as you're doing your research and writing your paper. But back on that Library Online Resources box, so that was how we got into the Online Resources Guide. But you don't have to get into that. You can go directly into the databases that we have. So this lists all of the online resources that we have. I'm going to go into Ebsco host because that's the one that's most commonly used. It has most full text article access of all the online resources that we have. We're going to go directly into Ebsco host web. And on this page, you can select individual databases. These are all the databases that we have access to through Ebsco. There's a little synopsis of each database. You can select individual ones, or you can just click this box at the top to select all of them and click continue. I am going to enter a very broad search. Ebsco, in this case, provides suggestions for search terms. You can use those. Sometimes that's helpful when you're trying to narrow down your article. From this page, you can also limit your results to full text. If you don't click full text, you might just get an abstract. You won't get the whole article. The abstract's just a summary of the article. You can also limit to peer reviewed. So if you are being required to use scholarly articles, you're going to want to click that peer review tab. And again, those tools are also in Gale, the other online database that we have for articles. So you click your search. We're getting a lot of results because, like I said, this was a very broad search. You probably want to be way more specific when you're doing your research. We can help you with that if you need help narrowing it down. So from here, you can access the full text of your article. In this case, there's HTML or PDF full text. I usually recommend PDF full text because then it will look like as it would if you were looking at a print journal. So things are formatted a little bit easier. You can see the page numbers. Page numbers are important when you're using your in-text citation. If you're actually quoting from the article, you're going to want your page number. So if you have the PDF option, you're going to click that. So you can go into your article right from there, or if you click the title, it brings up basically a detailed record of this article. So it has all your citation information in here. Again, you can access your results from here. Actually, before we do this, let me show you one other thing. If instead of clicking into each of those articles, one way to save you some clicking back and forth is to hover over this icon with the little piece of paper and a magnifying glass. That gives you your title and your basic citation information, but more importantly, it gives you the abstract. And like I mentioned earlier, the abstract is basically a little summary of the article. So you can hover over that, scroll down just to see, like, is this what I want? Maybe not. And that'll save you a little bit of time. But from here, and also if you click PDF, you'll have these same tools on the right. And these are ways, so you can save to your Google Drive, you can save to your OneDrive. This is the very popular tool, your cite tool. If you click this little paper-looking icon, if you scroll down, most programs here are using APA, so there's your APA citation that you can copy and paste. Again, you want to double check it because it is computer generated. And as you saw, I was clicking around, there's additional tools that pop up here. But you can also email it to yourself, print it, permalink. I like to point this out because a lot of times people want to save links to their articles. And this link that shows up in your address bar is cookie-based. This link is not going to work to get you back to your article. So what you want to do is click that permalink, and this permalink box will show up. This is the link that you want to copy and paste or save somehow to get back to your full text article. If you need help back on each of the guide pages, there is a chat box where you can chat with me as long as we're here. And there's also our contact information. So you can always email me if you have questions. Please let me know.